If you're struggling with anxiety, trauma, weight, a habit or compulsion that you just can't stop, and you've already tried traditional therapies and other approaches without getting anywhere, stick with me a moment. I'm Greg, and along with Hannah and Kimberly, I run Movie Minds Hypnotherapy on the Gold Coast. We've worked with thousands of people over the years and have got over 300 five-star reviews to show for it. And if you go and read through some of them, you'll see that a lot of people started exactly where you're at right now. Skeptical, not sure if hypnotherapy is even real, but worn out from trying other things. Here's Vivian. After 5 years of struggling with anxiety and depression, feeling like I didn't want to go on and not being able to find myself again, after seeing numerous psychologists and counselors, I decided to try hypnotherapy. I was skeptical, but I felt so desperate that I was prepared to give anything a go. I've been 4 times now, and I can't believe that I wasted 5 years of my life being stuck. Here's AW. I went to Moving Minds to tackle a smoking habit. Little did I know that they would unravel 14 years of trauma, exhaustion, depression, pain, and guilt, and help me change my whole perspective and outlook on life. For the first time in 14 years, I feel like I'm part of the world, not crippled by anxiety. Oh, and by the way, they sorted a 40 cigarette a day habit in the first session. Hypnotherapy works differently to a lot of what's out there because it goes straight to the core of the problem instead of just managing symptoms and without you having to spend weeks or months telling your whole life story and not getting anywhere. So here's how it actually works. What we do is we work with you one-on-one. It's a program built specifically around what you're dealing with, not a generic script, not a single stab in the dark. It's focused work with someone who's trained to get the best out of you and get you onto the other side of this. Hannah and Kimberly have trained under me, under the Australian Hypnosis Training Academy. And between the three of us, we've supported people through anxiety, trauma, smoking, vaping, weight, bad habits, compulsions, phobias, confidence, a whole range of different things. Here's another one. Luke. Moving Minds Hypnotherapy truly changed my life. I was struggling with a long-term obsession due to anxiety that completely took over my thoughts and daily routine. It was affecting my mental health and holding me back in life. I tried everything, but nothing gave me lasting relief until I tried hypnotherapy. This is the first time I felt free from the obsession that once controlled me. I feel lighter, clearer, much more in control of my life and my thoughts. I was skeptical that it would be this easy, but it was. Let me explain what actually happens when you work with us. Step 1, Emily, our practice manager, calls you within 1 business day. No pressure, just a conversation about what's going on for you. 2, from that conversation, she works out which program is the right fit for what you're dealing with. 3, she matches you with the right person on our team, either me, Hannah, or Kimberly, based on what suits you best. 4, she schedules every session of your program up front so that from day 1, you know exactly what the whole journey looks like, not just the next appointment. And step 5, you start the actual work either in clinic in Helensvale or online with someone who genuinely is responding to you, not running a script. So, does it work for everyone? No. I'll be straight with you. About 3% of people would tell you that it did nothing for them. Then there's a sliding scale, but 60% of people describe it as completely life-changing. And those odds aren't bad for something that goes straight to the core of the problem instead of just managing symptoms. Now, there's a few other questions we get asked all the time, so I'll do my best to answer those here. First, can I just do 1 session and see how it goes? We don't recommend it. Here's why. You might walk out of that first session feeling like $1 million, like genuinely. But if life throws you stress in a week and everything cracks, what was the point of that 1 session? And on the flip side, some people don't feel much shift in that first session. And it's only on session 3 or 4 that things really click. And if they'd stopped after that first initial session thinking it didn't work, they would have walked away right before the change actually happened. Either way, we'd rather be with you through the ups and downs of life to help you navigate that and to make sure we're not just handing you a quick hi and a wave goodbye. We want you to be committed to your future, not just giving this a try. Another question is, how long does this take? Right? A lot of people come to us after years, like literally years of traditional therapy where they've talked about the problem endlessly without actually much changing. That's not what we do. We're not interested in you reliving the trauma over and over or talking about it forever. We're about rapid, real change, helping you to get to the other side of it, not keeping you comfortable in the conversation about it. What actually happens in sessions? Honestly, this answer will probably give you more questions than it does answers. It's different for everyone. Some people describe it as blissful, euphoric, almost out of body. Others would say it's just like a strange conversation where by the end of it, they just feel different. There's no one size fits all, and because what happens depends on how you respond. Everything's tailored, so we genuinely can't predict in advance what's going to happen. What I will say is we cannot make you do anything you don't want to do. It's a fun party trick, but there's a little more to it than that when it comes to therapy. If you're wondering about credibility, between the three of us, we've trained in clinical hypnotherapy, conversational hypnotherapy, Ericksonian hypnosis, NLP, EFT, TFT, timeline therapy, past life, CBT, ego state, gestalt, hypnoanalysis, life coaching. But honestly, none of that matters as much as if this actually works. And the fact that we're normally booked out a month in advance and have over 330 five-star reviews, the results speak for themselves. Another one is will I lose control? And the biggest myth about hypnosis is that you lose control or you go under. You still hear everything, you remember everything. We help you to be more in control. It's a bit like going to a comedy show. You remember being there, you remember having a great time, and you tell all your mates about it, but if they were to ask you to tell them one of the actual jokes, can you remember? You remember the experience, but not every specific detail about it. Another question we get, do you offer a guarantee? No. It's funny that people still ask, like, do you ask your psychologist for a guarantee or your doctor? For a start, it's actually illegal to guarantee a therapeutic outcome, but more importantly, can you do everything we ask you to do in the way we ask it? We need you to have skin in the game. If you don't, this just becomes another thing that you're giving a try instead of something that you're genuinely committed to. This responsibility actually sits more with you than it does with us. We're just the mind and behavior specialists. But you still need to show up and take ownership over it. And if you're wondering whether it's actually worth the money, most people find that they actually care less about the cost and more about if it's actually going to work. What we do is we build this around you and we adjust as we go. It's not a fixed script that we run everyone through. And when you weigh it up against the problem and what it's already been costing you in energy and time and missed opportunities, the years that's already taken, it's a lot less than what you're already paying just by living with it. Here's Lisa. I'm incredibly blessed to have worked with Moving Minds. In my journey, they helped me to give up alcohol, but I'm more grateful for the ripple effect of hypnosis and how it's affected my whole life. I'm happier, lighter, filled with joy, and I'm living the life I always wanted to with a richer, deeper connection with those that I love. This is priceless. I spent a lot of time and money on a psychologist and never got results like this. So here's what you're actually getting. A program tailored specific to you in real time, not a generic script. You'll be matched with the right person on our team, me, Hannah, or Kimberly. Every session is scheduled up front so you know the full journey from day one, and you get support through the whole process, not just while you're in the room. You also get the option of paying in full, or you can spread it out over stages, whatever works best for you. Now, here's what happens next. You'll fill in the inquiry form. Emily will give you a call. On that call, you can ask her anything. She'll walk you through the entire process, answer any questions, and book in your program. Now, we are actually normally booked out about 3-4 weeks in advance, so the sooner you get into this, the sooner you can get to the other side of the issue. Here's Lara. I truly wish I'd done hypnosis years ago. It would have saved me from spending years revisiting the same traumas, various counselors, and talking to them without actually feeling like I was making progress. With hypnotherapy, I was able to shift the emotions that came from trauma like nothing I had ever experienced before, and reframe how my brain processed these traumatic events and emotions tied to them. Lynn, I've suffered from trauma and anxiety most of my life. I have sought help from so many professionals over the years. Now, at 84 years of age, I was sent to see Moving Minds. They changed my life in a couple of months. So, if any of this sounds like where you're at, fill in the form below and let's have a chat.